Since you're in the cipher with the Podheads, I was wondering, since in that field of business, I've heard a lot that a lot of people resort to like pharmaceuticals and things like that because, like you said, they're in
Oh yeah,
pain, their bodies get their ass beat, you know.
yeah.
So I was wondering, do you or anyone you know, have you ever come across with someone that uses cannabis or THC,
hmm
CBD products rather than pharmaceuticals and things like that?
Yeah. I know. I think when I first met y'all and when I first spoke with you, I know I touched a little bit on this. But doing this because I also wrestled when I was in school. I also did martial arts, so I had extensive amount of years of physical activity that I've done to my body from a very young age all the way until like I'm 31 now. And my first couple years of pro wrestling, everything was fine because I was in my early, my late teens, early 20s, and everybody kept telling me because I wanted to impress. I wanted to do a lot of the acrobatics and everything like that because I knew that it would be one of those things that would get noticed. But a lot of people that had a lot of experience, and longevity and more years on me would tell me, "Hey, choose your things wisely because you're not going to be able to do that your entire life or your entire career."
Wow, that's a good
Better
point.
to say. And so being somebody just coming into this and just hearing people that weren't doing the things you were doing, or some of them weren't capable of doing what you were doing, and they just had a different style. I would just take it as like, oh man, you're just trying to you're trying to rain on my parade. You're trying to be the cloud on my fun beach day, and just tell me how to kind of stay mediocre. And I'm not mediocre, guys. Sorry. I'm gonna do what I keep doing. And it's just typical, young up and comer who's really hungry. I didn't do it with any bad intentions. I did it because I truly love what I do and I wanted to be noticed. Why else do this if you just want to be a part of the litter and just kind of hurdle with everyone else? Like, nah, man, like I'm front of the pack type shit. I want to push the envelope every single time I'm in there, and that's what I thought I was doing and I needed to do. So years into this, I started realizing like, oh man, my shoulders are hurting a little bit more, my back's hurting a little bit more, like my knees are starting to really snap, crackle, and pop. They sound like pop rocks when you put them in your mouth. Why am I hurting now? And I'm like, damn, shit, they were right. They were just looking out for me, if anything, and I was just, I thought they were being haters, and slowly but surely, being in a wrestling locker room, once you start getting banged up and you take a bad fall and your neck is really stiff, or if you've been doing a bunch of shows consecutively, some of the boys will see you in the back, kind of, hey, brother, beat up here, take a couple of these and take a couple of that. I'm like, oh, what are these? Oh, it's just, think of it as a stronger Advil or strong Tylenol or something along those lines. I'm like, so it's just Tylenol? It's just this? Yeah, cool, that. I'm like, whoa, damn, I don't feel my pain, but I think I took one too many because I feel like drunk. I feel slow. And slowly but surely, I started realizing that these pills were, working for the pain, but I was slowly kind of enjoying that feeling of just like not feeling. Yes. Yeah. And at that time, I didn't know any, I'm not knowing any better. I'm just thinking like, these pills came from a doctor. Our doctors, aren't going to give us anything that's bad for us. And, doctors are supposed to take care of us. And, just very later on in life, as I've learned, very naive to that whole thought process. Because I realized that I was addicted to pain pills, and just, I had no idea because I felt it was very justified, and I didn't realize what it was doing to me behind closed doors, but I started realizing that other people were kind of taking into account my certain behavioral patterns, and why you sound tired, you look tired, man, did you get sleep? Like, dude, you look all right, you look rough, you look this, dude, what'd you say? I couldn't understand you. And just before I knew it, I'm doing crazy stuff, and I'm doing bad things to myself, and I'm just like, oh, like, what the hell's going on here? And life, like I said earlier, life had a way of knowing when to have the perfect timing and to be that that crossroads for you, and realizing like, we're going to stop you in your tracks, and you're going to be able to zoom out of the situation, look at the situation as a whole, and regroup. And going from being addicted to pain pills to being arrested and because of being pulled over and having my car searched, having pain pills on me, and just dealing with the judicial system, and going through that whole thing, and having to now be part of this stigma, and having to attend AA meetings and NA meetings, and going like, yo, I don't know why I'm here, man. I don't have a problem. like I'm not a drug addict. I'm not a, like, what do you mean addicted? There's just stuff in my pain because I'm hurting. That's what it was. I'm not shooting up, I'm not doing cocaine. I'm not doing any bad things. I'm just taking, strong Advil, I'm taking Percocets. I'm doing this, like little did I know, like I was addicted. And you come to terms with denial and you start realizing like, yo, I'm grateful for all of this. I'm grateful for that intervention. I'm grateful for that moment because it really helped, stitch a different fabric into my DNA as a human being, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and just learning. And I started using cannabis, and like I can't tell y'all how much appreciation I have for life, how much appreciation I have for nature, how much appreciation I have for my family, and how much appreciation I have for what I do, and knowing that I can operate with this pain. I can move forward with this pain. I'm not pain free, but I'm at a point where I can be very functional. I can be very coherent. People aren't looking at me going, "Are you okay? Are you this?" Right. Like, not at all. I'm way more in tune with who I am, and I got to learn more about who I was by being more coherent and not zonked out because of the pain pills and everything like that. Sure. I feel like now at 31 years old, I have an amazing relationship with my 10-year-old son. I have an amazing relationship with my mother and father. I have an amazing relationship with those closest to me because I've learned to, slow down and, just take in the situations and analyze them and not overanalyze them, because we can't go too crazy on overanalyzing, life, because we're going to miss the things that are about to take place. But there's a very large quantity of individuals, especially in my field of what I do, that now use, medical cannabis. And they're not doing what they were doing in the wrestling days, of the 90s and like the 80s, where after the show they were popping a couple pain pills and drinking whiskey and making it to the next town, and they were numbing the pain. And they had to take an upper, to have enough energy to be in front of the people in the audience. Like, no, man, like now, there's a lot of companies have relaxed with those rules, and a lot of these companies are taking into full effect at how serious this is as medicine, as a serious, safe alternative, whether or not you're somebody who's, an athlete, or you're somebody who's, a 50-year-old person who was in a car wreck several years back, that to have all these, physical issues that you have to deal with for the rest of your life. It doesn't matter if you're somebody who deals with Parkinson's or something like that, who's using CBD to calm theirself and their central nervous system down. To me, it was those miracle plants that just had what the world needed. And I think that if 2020 was an individual, they really need to take a step back and
smoke a doobie, bro,
and just calm the hell down, because it is on some next level nuclear insano shit. And
2020 is ridiculous, bro.